Hi everybody, this is Crystal. So today I'm going to show you how to make this poncho here. It's a child's poncho, and I'm going to guess the estimate age between probably 8 and 12 is what it will fit. If you wanted it to fit larger, you could always make the squares bigger by keep going around them with double crochet, to make them bigger. But this is a child size poncho. Here's what it looks like from the back. It's the same, just different colors. It's a 4 square poncho. Now, it's got the fringe, and of course you can leave the fringe off if you want. I tried to get one of my kids to take a picture in it, but they just wouldn't do it. They're like my husband. They just refuse to be on YouTube, I guess. But that's what it kind of looks like. So I'll go ahead and move it real quick. Now, I'll show you what I used for this project. I used a Lion brand mandala yarn. It is a 100% acrylic lightweight number 3. I recommend a number 3 lightweight for the granny square. Otherwise, it's probably going to be too bunched up and wavy. So my recommendation is to use a lightweight. You don't have to use the mandala, but some other type of 3-ply yarn is what you need. And there's 590 yards per skein, and I used about a skein and a half, so probably about 900 yards for this, and that's including the fringe for this size. The color I used is called Brownie. Now, I don't really particularly like mandala. Not that it's not beautiful. It's beautiful colors. I do not like it because it's a lightweight yarn, and I'm not a big fan of using lightweight yarns. But I love brown, and when I saw this, it's a new one for 2018, I believe. I had to get it. I mean, I couldn't pass it up. So I got that, and I made this child's size poncho out of it. I also want to take a minute to ask you if you haven't already to subscribe to my channel. You can click the subscribe button right here in the bottom right hand corner of this video, or you can go to my main page and click subscribe there. And if you hit the little bell that's next whenever you hit the subscribe button, that will notify you via email every time I put a new tutorial on, so you never miss them. And then if you make this and you like it, I'd appreciate it if you can maybe give this video a like and a share on Pinterest or on Facebook or something. That'd be really awesome. So I already have a tutorial made for this square here. It's actually my Galaxy Granny Square. And if you haven't heard of it, I will put a link on the screen right now to where you can find it to make this square. Because I'm not going to do that again. Not going to do that tutorial again because it's the same square. So I'll put a link on the screen, and I'll put a link below where you can make the square. I'm going to show you how to sew it together and add the fringe in this video. But all you have to do is follow, for this square, follow the video exactly like I do in the tutorial, except for one difference. You're going to use a bigger hook this time. In the video, I do not believe, I can't remember, I think I said I use an H or an I, but you need to use a J. So, follow along for my Galaxy Square video. Only disregard what I say about the size of the hook and use a size J for this project right here. And then, yeah, you need 4 squares for this, and then we'll get it sewed together. Okay, once you get your 4 squares done, I'll show you how we're going to sew them together. We're going to put, this is the back. I'm going to move my camera so it might be a bit shaky. And then this one will be on front. Same way, right side up though. And then you would have 2 that would hook. One would hook to the back here, and then it would fold in half, and it would sew to this one right here. And then you would do the same on this side. So you take your last square, and it would sew to the back here, and then it would fold in half, and it would sew to this one in the front. And that's how we're going to sew it together. Okay, I'm going to show you how I sew mine together. Now you can sew yours any way that you want. I usually, most of the time, I use a yarn needle to sew my stuff together. But you don't always have to. I think this time I'll probably slip stitch it together. But I want to slip stitch it the wrong way. So here's my back piece and here is one of my side pieces. And I got them both facing the wrong direction. So I'm going to slip stitch this side up real quick and I'll show you how I do that. So I'm going to get my yarn here and my hook. And what I'm going to do is, I'm at a weird angle, but I'm going to try to show you. I do it wrong side, so when I flip it over, you won't be able to see the yarn. Or hopefully you won't be able to. But I'll go through the chain 2 on the square here. And then the chain 2 on this square here too. And that's where I'll start my yarn, right there in that chain 2. So I'm just going to pull my yarn through and chain 1. Now, there should be the same number of stitches on each piece. So, you should be able to match them up pretty good. But when I slip stitch it together, sometimes you can use a yarn needle too if you want. A lot of times I do that. But you can see the stitch has a front and a back loop. I go through the next stitch. I go through the front loop on this side, and the same stitch over here, I go through the back loop of it. So just like that, and then I will slip stitch, and then the next one I will go through the front loop on this piece and the back loop on the next matching piece, the stitch that matches, and slip stitch. And I'll do this the whole way down. Front loop on this piece, back loop on this piece. Front loop on this piece, back loop on this piece. And this is how I'm going to sew the whole piece up. Just when you're sewing it, make sure your wrong sides are facing you every time. That way, when you flip it inside out, the seam should be nice and pretty, hopefully. We'll go ahead and do this all the way down. Just like that, and then I'll flip it over for you and show you. And then the seam is kind of, by only going through the one loop on each side, it makes that ridge on each side there. You can go through both loops if you want. I mean, it's not going to hurt anything. It's just, it won't have those ridges in the front. It's really just whatever you like. But I'm going to go ahead and sew these two pieces together real quick. Okay, I got this piece sewed on. You see my wrong sides are still facing me, so now I'm going to take my other piece and I'm going to sew it on to this one. So it'll look kind of like this, and then we'll sew our other one on here, on our other one onto the sides here. So I'm going to do the same sewing method down this piece now. Still wrong sides facing us. Okay, this is what I got now. I got still facing backwards. I got this one sewed on and this one sewed on. Now to get our last one sewed on right, we're going to flip this right side over like that. Okay, and then we're going to take our last one and face it wrong side. Line it up with that one like there. Now we will fold this one over and sew it to this one, and this will be backwards once you fold it over. This one's backwards, and then you'll fold this one over and sew it to this one, and it'll be backwards. See how it's backwards? And then once those two lines are sewed up, flip it inside out, or flip it right side out, I mean, and then all the seams will be on the inside. So I'm going to go ahead and sew up this side piece the same way we've been doing, and then this side piece. And then we'll flip it right side out and see what it looks like. Okay, I have got mine sewed together and I have flipped it right side out. So you find, we're going to go around it all with single crochet now. So just start in the back, whichever side you want the back to be. We're going to start up here. So let me fold my piece over so I can set my camera down. And you're just going to take your yarn. Now up here in the the corner here, I'm going to go through the chain 2 space of one, nothing right here, and I'm going to go through the chain 2 space of the other. And that's where I'm going to start my yarn. And I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to go right back through those 2 chain 2 spaces of those 2 pieces and single crochet. So we didn't put a chain 2 anything in the center square. We just skipped it. Now what I'm going to do is work across, putting 1 single crochet in every stitch here. We're working around the collar until we get to the other point in the front, and then we'll do the same thing there. This is just cleaning up the edges. Make sure you got the right side. I mean, make sure you flipped your work inside out, or right side out. And we started in the back. So this is going to give it a nice clean edge. So I'm going to work 1 single crochet in every stitch until I get to that front point, to this part in the front. Okay, I've worked 1 single crochet, now I'm at the front point. So again, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go through the chain 2 space on this one, nothing on this one, and through the chain 2 space on this one over here, and single crochet. And then I will continue with my single crochet. Make sure you get this first one here, 1 in every stitch around until I get back to where I started. And this will be cleaning up the collar. That's what we're working on right now. So we just did nothing in this square here. We just went through, stuck our hook through the chain 2 on this one and the chain 2 on that one, and single crocheted. Now I'm just going to continue working my 1 single crochet in every stitch until we get back to the back side where we started. Okay, I've made it to the back where we started, and now I'm just going to end by slip stitching into our first single crochet that we made. Not the chain 1, but the first single crochet. And I'm going to tie that off, and that cleaned up the top. I'll hide that tail in a bit. Now what we're going to do, turn it around and look at it a little bit here. We're going to go around the bottom and clean it up too. Now see, that made the top look a little bit cleaner now. It's very nice. It looks very nice. Okay, so now we're going to go around the bottom. And we're going to start, I must always start in the back. So whatever side's your back. Start anywhere you want, but I'll show you what we're going to do. We are going to work in the very back point, get 3 single crochets through that chain 2 space. And then it's 1 single crochet in every stitch. And then when you make it up here, it's just 1 single crochet in this chain 2 space, 1 single crochet in this chain 2 space. And then you continue single crocheting 1 in every stitch all the way around. 1 single crochet in this chain 2 space and 1 in this chain 2 space. So it's just straight 1 single crochet. And then when you get down to this front point, it's 3 single crochets. And then we'll just continue doing the 1 single crochet until we get back around. So I'm just going to start in the back. And I will start anywhere. You don't have to start the same place as me. But I'm going to go ahead and start in this corner here. This chain 2 space. Now this corner is going to get 3 single crochets in it. So what I'm going to do is chain 1. Let me get it turned around because I'm going to be working the opposite way here. There we go. I'm going to chain 1, and then I'm going to work 3 single crochets in this point. Remember, the poncho has 2 long points, one in the front and one in the back. Now this is the one in the back. So there's 1, 2, and 3. Now I'm going to continue to work 1 single crochet in every stitch. Make sure you get that first one there. And this is going to clean it up, the edges on the bottom. And make it look nice and neat. So I'm going to continue working 1 single crochet in every stitch. And I'll meet you when we get right up here to where these chain 2 spaces are. Okay, I've made it over here to this. Here's the chain 2 space. I'm just going to put 1 single crochet into that. And then over here on this chain 2 space, just go 1 single crochet right in the chain 2 space. And that just kind of, and then you just continue putting 1 single crochet in every stitch. And that kind of just makes it look more together, I guess, cleaner. So that's what I'm going to do all the way around, just single crocheting. And when I get to those chain 2 spaces, it's just 1 single crochet in each of those chain 2 spaces. And I'm going to work until I get to the point, the long point on the front, and I'll meet you there. Okay, I've made it to the sharp point on the front, and in the chain 2 space here, I'm going to work 3 single crochets, and then I'm going to continue. Make sure you get that first one right here, working 1 single crochet in every stitch until I get back around to my starting point. So just like that. And that's what the point kind of makes it lay a little bit flatter. Okay, I have made it back to where I started, and remember I already put 3 single crochets into that first point because that's where I started. So you want to end by slip stitching into that first single crochet, and then you can tie this off. Now I'm going to take a minute and hide all my tails real quick before I move on. Okay, I put a fringe on mine. You don't have to if you don't want to, but I'll show you how I do it. How you can make your fringe as thick or as many yarn pieces as you want, and you can space them out as much as you want, or you don't even have to put fringe. But I took, I got 2 pieces about a foot long each, and I skipped 4 stitches in between each fringe. Now what you do, you got your right side of your work facing you, stick your hook through that. You skip 4, and stick your hook through the next one. Now this is how I'm doing it. You don't have to do it this way, but pull it through, and then grab this and get your ends halfway equal down here, and then just pull up through that big loop. And that's how you do fringe. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4. If you want to put fringe every stitch, every other stitch, that's whatever you want to do with it. You can put tassels on it or whatever, or pom-poms, but pull it through. Get it even down here on the ends as much as possible, and then pull it right through like that. And now all you do is take it, once you get all your fringe on, and then you can just cut them all even. So I'm going to go ahead and lay these all out, and then you cut them to the length that you want, and just cut them off even. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. Okay, once you get all your fringe on, that's it. That's all there is to it. Just like this. So, remember not to forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, so you never miss an update. And also don't forget to check out my Facebook page. I'll put a link to that below, so if you make this or anything else, you can post a picture on it, and because I'd really love to see it. Oh, and until next time, have a good day.